Welcome to my current events and topics page. I wanted to read this article. You all know right now about the Iran-USA ordeal that's going on, I'm sure. And they're talking about the biblical prophecy of this. Descendants of Gog and Magog joined Russia, Iran in joint military drill. O mortal, turn your face toward Gog of the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. Prophesy against him. Ezekiel 38:2. That's the Israel Bible. This shows an army helicopter ready for fight. There's a lot of ads in this, so I'm sorry. And Iran announced last week that they will, for the first time, hold joint war drills with China and Russia. One rabbi, an end-of-days expert, stated that this will bring together all the elements to end all of history. Rear Admiral Hossein Khanzadi announced last week that the maneuvers will be held in the northern Indian Ocean from December 22nd to January 20th. When we talk about joint war games, we're talking about two or more countries with a high level of relations in various political, economic, and social fields, which culminate in cooperation in the military sector, with war games usually being the highest level of such cooperation, Khanzadi said to Iran's Tasnim news agency. A joint war game between several countries, whether on land or at sea or in the air, indicates a remarkable expansion of cooperation among them, he added. Maritime tensions in the region are high. Iran has been blamed for attacks against several tankers. In September, an Iranian drone attack destroyed half of Saudi Arabia's oil production capability. Iran also has been blamed for other attacks. In June, Iran shot down a U.S. surveillance drone over the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump ordered a military strike against IRGC radar and missile sites, but ordered the military to stand down at the last moment. That same month, the U.S. blamed Iran for attacks that damaged two tankers as they transited the strait. A series of similar attacks using magnetic mines has targeted tankers in the strait since the summer. Last month, the commander of the U.S. Central Command opined that a major Iranian attack is very possible. Sorry, guys. The U.S. dispatched an aircraft carrier and tens of thousands of pounds of military equipment and artillery to the Persian Gulf region in response to these potential Iranian threats. One interpretation of the Bible has Russia at the head of the multinational army at the pre-Messiah war of Gog and Magog. Rabbi Haim Shivi, a 20th century Jewish mystic, wrote a book of predictions concerning the Messiah in 1935. Remarkably, Rabbi Shivi understands the prophet Ezekiel to foresee the war of Gog and Magog as being launched by a Russian-led coalition. O mortal, turn your face toward Gog of the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. Prophesy against him, Ezekiel 38:2. Rabbi understood the Hebrew word in the verse Rosh, chief, as identifying Russia to be the leader of the Gog and Magog coalition. Rabbi Shivi predicted that the Russian-led coalition will be opposed by a coalition of comparable size, comprising soldiers from all 70 nations. The Bible explicitly identifies Iran's role in the war of Gog and Magog. I will turn you around and put hooks in your jaws and lead you out with all your army, horses, and horsemen, all of them clothed in splendor, a vast assembly, all of them with bucklers and shields, wielding swords. Among them shall be Persia, Nubia, and Put, every one with shield and helmet. Ezekiel 38:4-5. Iran is the modern incarnation of Persia. It is interesting to note that some medieval Christian travelers to China reported the Mongol belief that their nation was descended from Magog. The Mongolian Empire once included sections of Russia, China, and North Korea. The Chinese and all the minority groups living in China are of the Mongoloid race, which stems from Noah's son, Japheth. Etymologists have conjectured that the name Mongol is derived from the name Magog. Rabbi Pinchas Winston, an expert in Jewish eschatology and author of many books on the subject, noted that this military exercise will bring together many elements that are predicted to be part of the final pre-Messiah war of Gog and Magog. All these events need to be considered because no one knows what will be the final events that spark off the inevitable Rabbi Winston said as a disclaimer, "This certainly has the elements and the potential, not only because it is politically and militarily charged, but even more so it involves several nations that have the pedigree that makes them candidates for having an active role in the Gog and Magog war." Rabbi Winston noted that, according to his historical and Torah tradition, Magog migrated to the north. But nations have both a geonational reality as well as a spiritual reality, Rabbi Winston said. Amalek, Gog, these are specific archetypal evils that can be anywhere in the world and any person. Every day, the potential for Gog and Magog grows greater. The global pie is shrinking and the populace is increasing. As this phenomenon grows, selfishness gets unbridled and greed rules the world. People are grabbing what they can while they can. Battle lines are being drawn. History is coming to an end, the rabbi warned. The secular world sees times as an endless cycle, but the Bible repudiates all that. The Jewish perspective has a definite endpoint. That is what the concept of Messiah comes to teach us. If you see times as an endless cycle, then you can look at this union of Iran, Russia, and China and say that it's nothing new and nothing new will come out of it. But if you think of Gog and Magog as the beginning of the end, it takes a powerful new significance. It takes on a new powerful new significance. A secular historian will see that this is the leaders doing something with human motives, but the truth is that this is Hashem, God literally, the name, doing something very special, Hashem I guess that is, and we need to understand his motives. With the big picture, everything is significant and everything comes together. Anti-Semitism, the impeachment in the United States, the Israeli elections, and this military union, it all comes together. Rabbi Winston cited Rabbi Yisrael Meir Kagan, a world-renowned Torah authority known popularity as this is a lot of words, guys. The Chofetz Chaim came. Rabbi Kagan passed away in 1933 after the First World War, but before the beginning of World War II. The Chofetz Chaim, or whatever you pronounce that, wrote that Gog and Magog would be a three-stage war, Rabbi Winston said. He believed that World War I, what was called at that time the war to end all wars, was the first stage. Though we did not live to see the World War II, we can assume that was the second stage. He predicted that the final war would be the worst of all. Okay, guys, there you have it. And you know, if you don't feel something in the air right now, then I don't know that you need to wake up or what. But we are, I believe, in the last days, guys. And I do believe possibly we will be the ones that will be alive to see all this happen. I don't know. This would be a really great time to get close to the Lord. I love you guys. God bless you. And don't forget to say your prayers. Good night.